happening, everyone? Welcome to the show. I'm Max. This is the RHMax channel where we beat knowledge into you. You cannot help but accept it in your brain. No, I mean, I guess sometimes we do get a little rowdy on the show. Not really. It's pretty chill. It's pretty chill usually. Except when I have like 8 people in here and there's 150 watching and 8 people and I'm just switching between. That gets a little, that's just me. That's just my internal chaos going on though. But a lot of fun. We had a really good show the past. We did the Hedron auctions updates and AMA. That was really fun. Had KG on the show. This week's just been a blast. I've been looking forward to this one in particular though with Fashion Coder. I think I've been planning it on and off, kept it a running doc for maybe a month or so in the last few weeks, and just thinking of how we can really provide value. Because again, I want to talk about things that not a lot of people talk about that are actually valuable, not just talk about things because they're different, but like things that people can use because, I'm not getting paid, not monetizing, but I really want to get information out there that people can use and it can be evergreen in a way, and just help people, especially in crypto who are new. There's a lot of people talking about, hey, I want to, think about starting a YouTube channel. I've talked to people like this before, and other than me just telling them all the things I've done, I want to make this in a more repeatable, consumable, scalable format. And that's why I brought in Fashion Coder to talk to us about how she does it, because her style is very different from mine. And we kind of try to tackle 2 different verticals. Like I only do live streams and she does streams and pre-recorded videos, things like that. But just the equipment aspect, it took me a while to learn. People still complain over my microphone today. I can't accept any more feedback on the microphone. This is the best the mic's going to get. So if you ever want to troll me, just comment about my microphone and I'll just be like, why? It's like the 7th one. So it's best it's going to get on that way. Hopefully it's not too pretentious being like, here's how to be a streamer. But it's kind of what we're going to talk about today mostly. And then also, AMA too is all as usual. If you have any PulseChain, hex questions, stuff like that, I got maybe 1 or 2 that we'll go over towards the latter half as well. But without further ado, I'm excited. Let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Fashion Coder.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, looking very fashionable today. Not that we didn't expect that.
Well, thank you. Your channel's doing so good. I just want to compliment you. Like your streams are awesome. And I really know that a ton of people just find so much value in your videos. And my dad tells me all the time that he's watching you. And so honestly, you're killing it.
That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. It's great to meet your dad in Vegas too and and hang out. And yeah, it's just I don't know. I would say that it's no sweat, but there is some sweat that's involved in it. And if ever get tired and you see me just stop streaming, I hope everyone's like, if ever just stop one day, those, he did enough. That's fine. It was good enough. He put enough out there. I hope that's the reaction. It's not like, no, but yes, thank you. It's always good to be acknowledged for this stuff. I don't ask for it. It's always weird to be like, I don't know. I'm just not the person who needs. I don't say needs. It's nice to have, but I want to see the difference I make from people learning and from people just being able to use the information and go apply it. Like I don't just want to put it out there and just hope for something to happen, I want to talk about the things that are interesting to me. So striking that balance is the hardest thing for me is, am I interested in it? And do I think other people will benefit from it? And that's where I try to talk about those things, which don't get a lot of clicks. They don't get a lot of, monetization. They don't want to get a lot of this stuff. I don't think many people in the Hex community and PulseChain and stuff are talking about how to be a streamer, right? Like I don't see a lot of videos about that, probably because we're not going to have 100 people on the show today, which is fine. I want to make this like evergreen content and to help people more than get clicks. So that's what I go for. And I'm glad it's working. It seems to be working so far.
Yeah, it's hard because it's not like a measurable thing too. It's not like you can be like, okay, well, have people learn from the videos, like, all that type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of it's anecdotal. It's if you get someone who goes out of their way to message you about it, that happens, you can kind of use that. I kind of feel like we're going into it. Almost, the preamble for the streaming thing is like, how do you measure if you're being effective? Of course, there's all the stuff that YouTube provides, the likes, comments and stuff, but that's kind of telling you how many people liked it or how many people had something to say about it. Not really if they took that information and applied it. What are some, maybe if they actually started a channel and then gave you a shout out, but it's very like, you kind of got to catch those things. Those aren't like, there's no dashboard showing you that kind of stuff, not yet at least. So it is hard to measure for sure. So I don't know. I think maybe if we ever talk to anyone who's got 1 million subs or something, they have some team who's monitoring the pulse, and they come up with these analytics from all this stuff to tell them which videos are hitting the right spots. But that's poor broke plebs. We just have YouTube analytics, and Twitter analytics is actually pretty good. I do like Twitter analytics. That's not a lot of people even use it. Not a lot of people know about it, but there is Twitter analytics. You can see your top tweets and which ones gets engagement stuff too. But YouTube analytics, I gotta say, they do. You can any kind of like thing you want to zoom into and figure out. They'll provide you some good stuff for it. So,
yeah, it's intense, honestly.
it's there's only maybe 3 or 4 places. I don't look at it much as I used to, but now when I want to see, for example, you can see which videos of yours got you sort by the top ones, and then you can see what you're talking about, and that kind of influences you to know if you keep talking about that kind of stuff, you keep creating value around that content. Whether it's, for example, PulseChain, it's one of mine. Like PulseChain, it seems like every video that has PulseChain in the title gets a lot more clicks, a lot more views, a lot more stuff, regardless of the content, which I'm not sure that's the best incentive to produce that, because I also don't want to have a channel that just has PulseChain clips coming out every single day. I really try to mix it up to keep it fresh for all the subs. But that's like one way you can tell these type of stuff. We're getting into it too early though. Too early.
Sorry.
No, it's going to be a great one. I just want to say hi to the chat real quick. Another tip. Yeah, it's funny. As I go through this, I'll be referencing things that I think are effective, which talk to the chat. That's something I don't think a lot of people do. It's such an easy win. I mean, I guess you got to use brain power and focus and make sure you do it. But like if you're able to connect with people and they know, for example, if I show up to somebody's stream, and I do from time to time, obviously, and I write a comment and they post the comment, or they at least acknowledge the comment in some way, that gives me, I can feel that little hit of dopamine. I feel, oh, that's nice. Like I feel they acknowledge me. I want to come back. I want to like go to their streams more often. Maybe I want to click like it makes me want to do stuff like that. So just little easy wins that we'll dive into here. The first question, Michael, what's your favorite food? My answer was a good burger. I like burgers. And they're keto friendly too. If you can get a lettuce wrap, or if you make them at home, just use keto bread. So if people aren't aware, I've been on keto for a long time, and I've been cheating a lot lately. I've been keto curious more lately, but it's besides the point. A good burger is the question to that, or the answer to that. Let's go. What's up, Compassion? Good to see you, man. He drives up from Oregon to come to our Washington meetups. So respect for respect for traveling, man.
Pictures, yes.
Yeah, he's not from Washington. He traveled, and he spends some time with the community trying to get here back and forth. What's up, X-Ray Vision? Good to see you. Yeah, I hope to see you to meet up sometime too, man. Vets is another local Washington guy. Good to see you. If he ever comes back to the meetups, he's been missing some lately. I need some jerky, man. Give me some. He's a hunter. He likes to hunt. So tell him to bring some jerky next time. Monica, yes. What's up, Monica? Good to see you as well. Last time I saw you was in Vegas. I think Fashion Coder saw you there as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about. Well, let me first get on the right doc here. I didn't even have it pulled up.
It's been a busy day.
Yeah, I know. It certainly has. This morning it's been crazy. The first thing I want to go into too is just kind of set people the stage of, and you can go first, and then I can pull up the doc too to get to more stuff going. But when did you start streaming? Like how long has it did you start doing it? Is there any style that you've changed? Because I've probably seen most of your the last few months of your videos more than the early ones. Is there something you saw that was better that you pivoted to? And just like what your experience has been, like why do you choose to make videos and publish them versus live stream? Like how do you feel about those two?
Yeah, so the reason why I started streaming just in general and posting videos is I was helping so many people in my life. Like not only the people in my own life, but then my dad would also have people in his life that he was talking about crypto to. And so like we'd have these different meetups where people would like come over for lunch after church, or they would, come over for dinner one of the nights of the week, and we'd talk to them about crypto. And so it just honestly started becoming like pretty overwhelming for me, just because honestly, there was probably like 30 people that I was talking to that would message me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if I like want to continue doing this just because it was a lot. And so
Mm.
I started February 2022, so this year, and I just like posted some very basic videos, and I like stopped posting. And then I ended up posting about a month later in March, and I didn't even start off with posting about PulseChain or Hex or anything like that. But then I posted one on PulseChain, and the video did well compared to my other ones. And so I started posting videos on how to use the testnet, and that is what really like snowballed into me being a part of the PulseChain community. So I had no intentions, just like to be honest, no intentions of like doing that because I didn't know, right? And people told me that they like certain things. Funding Jim was actually the first person that like believed in me and like told me to keep going with it. And so like I don't know, it just just happened. And so then I had so many different people that wanted me on their streams, and like I said, it just snowballed from there.
Yeah, it's. I think I remember some of the ones with the test data. Yeah, I remember that happening around, and I actually registered YouTube in February just because that's when I got to Twitter and started, being active in the community as far as publicly like having a persona and stuff. But I didn't actually start making videos until I think May or something like that. I think May was my first one with Crypto Kindness. So, but I wanted to register beforehand to make the channel look older and all that stuff. So funny enough, we registered around the same time, but I assume you put out videos in February, right?
Yeah, I did a couple of like intro videos because I honestly was only posting them so like my friends and family would watch them. I was not expecting to be a streamer or anything. I was like, this just saves me time by being able to do this. But then people started doing like putting in the comments like, you need to be on Twitter. You need to, get a better microphone. That is always the thing.
The
I don't.
microphone jokes.
Yes,
Oh, God.
exactly. Even if you had the
Never go
best
away.
microphone in the world, I don't think everyone would be satisfied.
I mean, I have no problem with feedback, but if you get a comment that just says your microphone sucks or it sounds like you're in a bathroom, it's like, that's not helpful. Like if you're going to leave a comment about the microphone, recommend one. Tell me what
Yeah.
you use. Tell me what you use. Person who probably doesn't stream, like give me some like good feedback about, microphones instead of just like, so I think the funniest one was like, did somebody unsubscribe because my microphone one time? Somebody said something. I was like, oh my God, you literally, anyways, not going to get a microphone. I'm going to try to stay away from it. That's like a trigger point almost for me. But yeah, it's funny exactly the way you said, no matter what microphone you have, somebody will complain it's not good enough or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I get it. When I first started, me using my MacBook microphone, not a great idea. But like, I've bought several microphones too. And it's like, okay, here we are.
Yeah, you got to stop at some point. I think I'm on my third microphone. I didn't start with a MacBook either. I have a MacBook, but I have it connected to an ARM. So I actually started with an ARM microphone with everything set up. I have a desk and all this stuff. And the sound wasn't great at first, but eventually, and we'll go over some of the equipment too. The one I got now, I think it's been the best one. And for my particular setup, I'm standing for this particular thing. And I started sitting down, and then my back started hurting a lot too. And I was like, I just stand up and just to get more exercise. And now it's funny. I have like not other issues, but like, it's funny how like my quads are like, they feel tense and stuff a lot now since I'm standing for an hour and a half. So it's just like a whole physical thing to streaming too. If you are, depending if you're sitting, standing, and all these things. But nobody thinks about that, right? You just turn on your camera, you start talking to the internet. It's like there's a lot more into it, which that's what we're digging through a little bit at a time.
Yeah, exactly. Even my jaw sometimes will hurt of like talking too much or smiling too much or whatever it is, and it's like the physical toll that this takes.
It does. Yeah, that's funny. I hadn't even thought about the physical part, but yeah, there's sometimes I just I get done with the stream and I'm exhausted because you've been talking for so long. You've been either standing or you've been switching positions or I don't know. Maybe the best way is to like sit in like a really comfy chair or couch or something.
Yeah.
But then
Me and my
posture.
couch.
Yeah, I think I like the couch scene right now. That looks pretty comfortable. But even sitting on a couch with friends and family sitting on a couch for an hour and a half, you're going to get tired, right? You're going to start wanting to move. but you can't because you're in front of a camera, you know, so stuff like that. So what made you do instead of, because I know you do a lot of, you know, pre-recorded videos, and you take time to do editing and all that stuff that makes you look very not lazy. And I'll tell you why my style is like so much more. I spend a lot of time onto it, but it's literally the style that I picked because it required the least amount of work and time and attention, at least in the way I thought about it. So what made you do, you know, between your live streams and clippings, such as what, you know, my specialty is, and just recording videos and then editing them and putting those out?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to keep this information. I do one take. I do not edit my videos at all. I film it start to finish, and I don't do anything outside of that. And that's what I post. And so that for me was the easiest thing, because I was able to just do that. The reason why I do the pre-recorded videos, honestly, like going back to why I started, it was for my friends and family. So I just wanted to make little videos for them that were anywhere from 2 minutes to 10 minutes that could go over what I would tell them in person. And so that's what I started with. And that's what's done well for me. So in the sense of, I think streams are great. And I think for the community of just like crypto people really do like streams. But for me, as someone, like, I would definitely consider myself a part of the crypto community. But at the same time, I feel like I wouldn't, just because I am not the person that's going to be watching streams for hours every single day. My dad is. My dad does that. But that's not me. I don't have time for that. And I honestly, I don't think I have the capacity to watch streams in that way. And so yeah, so that's why I do the pre-recorded videos, is I just want something that's super condensed, that gets straight to the point. And I'm okay with like losing some of the things, and like losing some of the aspects of streaming, just so I can get something that's like an efficient thing to watch.
Yes, that's some streaming alpha right there. I like it because, you know, I guess when you think about making a video and uploading to YouTube when you're not live, I always assume people edit it. I always assume there's like some production, some post production that goes into it. But yeah, like you said right there, you don't even need to do that. You just record it, and then you just. So what happens when you mess up though? Like, do you ever have to like? How many? I guess what's the ratio of you having to? Okay, I either need to re-record this video or I need to cut this out. Like when does that happen?
So usually if I mess up, it's in the first 30 seconds of like me introducing like what I'm doing. And so I'll do that. This one time, oh, this sucked. This was a couple weeks ago. I recorded the whole video and it was like 8 minutes or something. And I realized my microphone was on mute. So
no.
I like had to go back and do that. And so that, you know, if you're going to be streaming, like the people in the chat are going to tell you, we cannot hear you.
I was going to say that's one advantage of streaming. You will not carry on the entire conversation without a mic, at least. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it doesn't happen very often. At the beginning, I was so nervous, like recording videos. And I think that happens for everyone. There is a learning curve, and there's this point where it does take time to feel comfortable doing something. I remember someone put in the comments, they're like, you have got to stop saying, which is fine. Like, I am way past that in my life now, which is great.
Well,
but
so stuff like that, I think it's, you know, that's a psychology point, because if somebody said that, it's a microphone. Eventually, even though I was very annoyed by the lack of clarity on the feedback for the microphone, other than your mic sucks, it eventually stressed me enough to like keep upgrading my microphone. So like it's kind of it's not a very good incentive, and like it's not the best way for it to happen. But somebody saying, you know, oh, you say a lot, or you say or you say like they pointing something out about the way you speak. I don't know. It's one of those things, like if you take it as, I try to, everything somebody says to me, I try to like take it in the most positive light, like assume positive intent. So even though they said something that's not very helpful on the surface, you can take that. And for you, for example, if nobody would ever said that, you probably would have never noticed it, right? You would have, or maybe eventually you would have, but you corrected it much sooner, or you changed it. I don't want to say correct because maybe you sounded fine. I don't remember that. But that's one of those things where it's like you can take that kind of feedback, even though it's not great on the surface, and make yourself better with it. So like even if they're trolling, you can like beat the troll. Not that everyone's trolling who does that, but if they were, then you take it and use it for, for your benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've even like gone back and watched my videos. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just need to remove these off of like my like feed because they're embarrassing in that sense. But also I'm like, I've made it so far. Like these are great like progress checkpoints of like where I was, where I'm at now. And it's only been like 8 months. And so you can definitely grow within a short amount of time.
Yeah, I think you can use it as like I went and watched one of my first videos with Crypto Kindness the other day, the very first stream I did, and everything was totally different. I was sitting down, like the background was different. I just had a white wall, and the way I spoke was a little different. It's just the way I just kept on point with things, just the way I interacted with the chat and stuff is completely different. But and it was cringy. It was like, oh, that's what my first one was. But then, like you said, it shows you how far you've came, and it can give you that like good feeling of like, wow, I have improved. I clearly have improved. I've measured myself from beginning to now, and it's one of those. It can be a good thing to do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Crypto Kindness was your first live stream?
He was, yeah.
He was mine too.
Wow. Okay, he just has a thing for helping new YouTubers. There you
go.
That's awesome. That's data right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to. I haven't been on with him since, but I thought about maybe doing something special for the year anniversary. Whenever that comes up, it's probably it's going to be a while, but or like 100th episode type of thing. It's always good to like have people on you had on early that we still talk on Twitter and stuff, but we're I mean, he stays busy too. He's kind of not MIA, but he's taking some time off too for a while. But I think he's trying to get back into it, trying to get, especially since PulseChain seems closer every day. It seems closer, no idea, but it's definitely good to connect with people who helped you like that. And I'm always thankful for it. Like no matter what he does, I'll always be thankful. If he turns out to be the biggest scumbag to ever walk the face of the earth, I don't. It's not going to happen. But I would always be like, well, he really helped me in streaming, because that stream too, afterwards, how it's like, oh, I'll stay on afterwards to kind of debrief or just say goodbye or whatever. Yeah. I left because I didn't know. I just left, and he was like messaging me. He messaged me like, no, come back up, come back. And I was like, oh, I'm supposed to stay on or something. That's what people do. So just like little things you don't know. And then he spent, and then he spent like 20 or 30 minutes with me afterwards, just like giving me feedback and like walking me through, change your background and like, show me how to use StreamYard better and all this stuff. So yeah, I always be thankful to Crypto Kindness, because he showed me a lot of kindness when I first started out, and apparently you as well.
Yeah, it's really cool. Just all the streamers, they really do want to help. And so if you do end up like being on a stream and being in the green room, I have learned so many crazy things from being in the green room of streams. And it's really cool, like being able to build those relationships.
Yes, it's the green room is if you're not a streamer, like you don't really, it's hard for you to like think about what the green room is and how you can use it. But it's once you start streaming, you're like, okay, this is a place you can prep. This is a place you can do test runs. This is a place you can just like chat before the show. Or if you have a bunch of guests coming on, like I prefer not to have any more than like 3 other people on stream at one time, because it's just so hard. The conversation goes everywhere. So if I have one where I've invited 6 or 7 people, I try to split it up. I have people in the green room. They're talking in the private chat. It's just like it's like a nice camaraderie thing as well. So the green room is that's a fascinating concept that's you don't really understand until you start using it.
Yeah, absolutely. My dad didn't understand it at all, because he had watched me be on stream. But I was like, you not believe like what goes on in the green room, right, beforehand. And so then he started doing streams with me, and then we would talk to the people that we were streaming with beforehand, and he was like, wow, like this is awesome. And like, it's crazy that just like something so small like that would make such a difference, but it really does.
It's like a private stream too. There's sometimes you'll get into conversation, you're like, God, we should be streaming right now, people should be hearing this too, because this is good information. But okay, save it for the stream, and you get some really fun conversations. Or it's just like a place where you can talk about personal things or whatever you don't want to put on the internet. Like you can like have those conversations and have a chance to catch up with people. So fantastic concept, StreamYard, Greener. Not that they invented it or anything, but they got a pretty good process for it here.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, Blue Yeti. So yeah, Blue Yeti was my first try, I think. And we'll get into microphones here in a second. I'll tell you what I'm using now. But you're using Blue Yeti.
Yep.
See, it doesn't that's what's so specific, and people don't get it either. One microphone may be amazing for a particular setup and not work at all for another setup. It does not work for me. Like, okay, here's my mic.
Nice.
And I have to set it because I don't want it right in front of my face because I have a green screen and all this stuff. I have to set it to the side. So I need a microphone that can pick up between here and there and also sound okay. And Blue Yeti just wasn't working. It just didn't work for it. It's a great microphone. I've used it for recording stuff before, but it just did not work for my particular directional thing. And then you'd be like, oh, well, why don't you just move your arm? And then if I could show you my desk, this is the best arm setup I could possibly have. Like, the microphone arm, I mean.
Yeah.
And then the clip light. Oh, why don't you, like, what somebody say the other day? You look overexposed or something. I'm like, God, I can't. So the way the window is in the room I'm at, if I'm in the morning and the sun is shining in a certain direction, then I look really bright. And then at nighttime, I look overexposed sometimes. So it's like, there's nothing I can do about it. Like, I can't change the way the sun is hitting and the hour I stream just because, the overexposure. So
exactly.
I guess that's a good question too. Like, before we get into microphones and equipment, like what feedback have you got that was just like, I don't know how to change that. Like, there's just nothing I can do about it. Like, what's some of your greatest hits?
I just feel like there's no winning personally, because everyone's going to be upset about something. And so, yeah, I mean, the microphone one I think is like the biggest one. And that one's always so funny. Just because I'm like, at this point in time, like, I've tried. And this room that I'm in right now, it has hardwood floors. And so it's different than the place that I started streaming in, which had carpeted floors. And I can tell the difference in my microphone because of even just that. And so I'm trying to think. For a long time, I actually stopped reading the comments on all my videos because I just couldn't take it. I was like, some people are just so rude. And I was just like, this is not something that I like even want to deal with. And so I definitely did take a couple of months off of reading comments because I was like, this doesn't serve me anything. And so I actually told my dad, I was like, you can read through the comments, and if I need to change something or do something, like, you can let me know. But I was like, I don't care. And so it's interesting, like, going in different phases. But yeah, people like don't like my background sometimes. Sometimes people think that the rainbow thing looks like a hot dog, which is really funny.
Oh my God, I see a hot dog now. Oh, it happened.
I'm so sorry.
It happened. I would never seen that before, but now I see it. That's funny.
Yeah, and I had never seen that before either. And so, anyways, it's just funny. A lot of people don't like that I have a mirror behind me either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's cute.
Literally have no feedback for your setup. I'm like, yeah, it looks like what Fashion Coder I imagine her setup to be. Like, it looks like nicely done. You're either in an open house somewhere or you just know how to interior decorate. So it looks.
I'm in my room. So.
Oh, well, there you go. It's the second one then.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's just funny. It's funny that people have opinions about that, and it's like, this is me. Like, this just like shows who I am. So I just go with it.
It's not everyone. Like, that's the important thing, that when you're new to streaming too, to understand, like, it's not that everyone wants to make you feel bad or wants to criticize you, like, without, like, some people don't even know how to use constructive criticism. Like, they just don't know how to do it. They see something they don't like and they just want to tell you about it. And you're like, give me something more than microphone suck. Give me something more than but it's not always, that's the thing to recognize. It's not always them like trying to say it that way. They just want to let you know about this, and maybe they don't do it in the best way or the most, nicest way possible, but that's just them trying to give feedback. So if you get feedback like that in the comments, you can either stop reading the comments or turn comments off, or you can just try to interpret them. Sometimes I'll read it in the morning. I'll look at the YouTube studio up in the morning and I'll scroll through comments for a minute and I'll just see something. I'm like, God, that is so stupid. Why would you even take the time to say that? Like, that doesn't help anyone. And I usually let it go. Sometimes if it's too bad, I'll remove it. But I very rarely hide anyone from channel. Usually I don't have that bad of comments. Usually it's all the spam stuff that sucks. But I don't know. It's, again, I guess the point of me saying this is just if you do read comments, don't API, assume positive intent. Assume that they just aren't very good at telling you what they want you to what they want to tell you.
Yeah, it's so interesting too. Not even just like setup. I don't know if you get this. I wonder if I just get it because I'm a girl. But sometimes people will comment on my appearance in like very like rude, like profane ways.
I get it sometimes, but yeah, I figured you would get more than me on that one.
Yeah, and so it like that's its whole own thing, which is
Yeah.
really funny. But the thing that I love about my subscribers is they always clap back so hard on those people. So
Nice. That's one good thing that comes from it. Like if you have a fervent subscriber base, if they say something about you and you leave it, then other people will jump on them and they will realign them, because that's the whole thing about being on the internet and being able to comment, is that you're kind of you're going around the accountability. You're like, oh, I'm an anonymous person, I can say whatever I want. Most 99% of people would never say that to your face. They would never go out of their way to go like, go up to you and say, oh, you look stupid today. Nobody would say that. But on the internet, there's no cost. There's no cost. Oh, I'll just say it. But how you can enforce a cost with that is the accountability. And if you have other people who see it, they can realign them. Like, no, we don't talk like that. Like, you're not going to say stuff like that. That's not helpful. But there's a difference between feedback and just like telling somebody they look bad today. Like that's literally, there's nothing I can take from that.
Exactly. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to change? This is how I look.
Yeah. And it's not even, that's the thing. If they're literally just trolling, then you shouldn't even try to rationalize it. Like you can't even be like, well, tell me what you would like me to wear. Like,
yeah, that's weird.
That would be a weird conversation on its own, but like in general, you can't even ask them for feedback because they're not even prepared to like help you. That wasn't even their point. So, another thing I want to point out that I noticed, I don't know if anyone else noticed, but I'm waiting on somebody to comment, the shadow of my microphone. If I have a light background, right, because the microphone's here. If I have a light background or a light shirt, especially a light shirt, I always see the shadow, but I assume no one else really, they assume it just blends in with the background. But I just told myself on that one. That's the one that no one's ever said anything about. But
I've never seen that.
That's a microphone. Yeah.
I think you're fine.
If you don't think I'm fine, chat, leave me a comment and tell me that shadow bothers you. Michael Light says you have a stream of light emanating in your left ear. That is literally the background, sir. That is the background. So yes, thank you for noticing. Thought the shadow was a stain. Oh, I love Sniff. He says every once in a while he says inappropriate stuff, but he also says a lot of funny stuff. So thank you, Sniff. That's actually probably the funniest comment I could get from this. It was I just poured I just have a big hamburger stain, right? That's what I eat from my left shoulder here. RH, have you tried wearing my skin? Here they come. Actually, on that note, you went into it, but I said not usually, but somebody did say the other day that what was it? Somebody on one of my videos, maybe on the shorts, because I've been doing a lot of shorts. Somebody said something about makeup, like, "Oh, you didn't." What was the comment? It was like, "What is this, like no makeup day or something?" I'm like, I'm a guy. Like, what? I mean, I don't think I'm expected to wear makeup. And sorry, and my face is not perfect, and like all this stuff. But that's the one. It didn't even affect me. I was just like, that's just a weird thing to say. Like, I guess it's funny in a way, but I don't know. I think that's it. That's one of the few ones I've got about my appearance. Or somebody will say something about my hat. They'll be like, somebody said, I feel like we're like reading the worst. We're like the celebrities reading the comments. The worst comments thing. Somebody said, you can tell the direction in life a person's going by the direction they wear their hat. I'm like, that's actually a very clever way of saying it. I definitely disagree, but like, that's actually like a clever, funny comment. So I left it. And, but somebody else like bum rushed them. They're like, oh, that's, they somebody came to my defense on that one. It was kind of funny. But who doesn't press the burger on his shoulder? You're hilarious, Sniff. Looks like you bottle fed a bait. Not impossible. I'll leave it at that. On TV, they powder makeup men too. Yeah, I mean, if I was on TV, I'm on YouTube. I have 3K subs. Like, I'm not wearing makeup to do shorts. Maybe I will now, since you got it in my mind. You planted the seed. I'm gonna have to go find some masculine makeup and try that on. Oh God, let's see. Wow, JT, that's a little hardcore. So we're gonna put you in timeout. Wow, wow, wow. It was almost funny, but then I was like, no, you kind of went downhill on that one. Great.
Something that I learned while I was going, doing all this and everything. Do you know who Brene Brown is? She is an author, and I think
Sounds familiar.
yeah, she's an amazing author. But she talked about being daring to lead. And the thing about it is if someone's commenting on your stuff, like, do they have the place to have say in your life? So when you have these bad comments, or honestly, even good comments, I do this with both. I don't let the good comments affect me, and I don't let the bad comments affect me, because if I let the good comments affect me, then the bad comments would affect me too. But if this person's not also in the same boat, if they're not putting their face out on a screen, if they're not putting in the effort to do the different things within being a content creator, they don't have any say in like what I do. And like, it is a really good thing to sometimes get feedback of like, your microphone and stuff like that. But
Right.
it's looking at that and being like, if you told me something about what I do, I would take that more into heart than what someone that just randomly commented on my video, because you actually do the same thing that I do. And so I value your opinion in that way, because you're also putting yourself out there. Whereas someone that just, puts something like in a comment, like, that's so anonymous. So you can like shift it where it's like you're in control of the situation and it's okay.
Yeah, so that's a good example too of on microphone. What was it? Dixon Piper actually got me to buy. We're gonna get a microphone. We're gonna need equipment in a second. I promise everyone. But Dixon, he messaged me and he was like, "Hey," because maybe he saw people talking about my microphone, or maybe he noticed it. Whatever. He's like, "Hey, here's a microphone I use." I don't remember if he even commented on my current microphone, but I got the hint. Whatever it was, like, your mic could be better. And then I got the microphone that he suggested, and then it got a lot better. So yeah, if I just saw a comment on it, I'd be more likely to ignore it or whatever. But if someone who you think cares about you in some way, or is in the same doing the same stuff you're doing, you tend to take advice from them much more, especially if they do it in a private way. That now you can correct it and then go on, and you don't even have to like be embarrassed or anything about it. But just not being able, just what you said about not valuing what people say unless like they're like, you choose whose opinion to value in your life. Like you don't need to put value on things that people you don't know and stuff like that. There's a great saying that from Kapil Gupta, this guy it's like Naval's guru or something like that. But he said something really meaningful in one of his books I was reading, and he said that if someone calls you a name or whatever, and it upsets you, it may be because you think there's some possibility of it being true.
Yeah.
In some way, it may be true. So if somebody calls you, oh, you're a plant, like, no, obviously I'm not a plant. Like, that makes no sense. I would never be a plant. But if someone says, oh, your microphone sucks, or your background, is not good in some way, you start thinking, even though you don't know them or whatever, if you think that it could possibly be true,
Yeah.
then you may get offended. You may have an emotional response. You may have these things. So it's only when you think part of it may be true that these things occur.
Absolutely.
So, which leads into, could be good feedback. It could make positive changes for you, or it could not. So let's see. God, Sniff. It's a good joke, Sniff. I'm not going to post it, but it was funny. Yeah, there you go. Michael P. The value and truth comments, good, mad comments bring no value. Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it. All right, equipment. I want to bring up the browser, because actually on Amazon, I'm going to show people exactly. I think I wrote the models down for mine. Yeah, and you can just tell me yours if you want as well.
Cool.
But let me bring it up. So we'll start. Well, I already got mine up. So here's my microphone, everyone. Yeah, look at all the money I spend that nobody gets me back. Look at that. Look at that. This is a fraction of the another thing we can talk about too, the expense of being a streamer. Like, not just your time, but the equipment, the opportunity cost of you doing that versus other stuff. If you measure your time by how much you get paid per hour, then that you can rack up a huge cost to doing this too. But yeah, just equipment alone, not super cheap for this particular microphone. Did you say you're using the Blue Yeti?
Yep, I am using Blue
So we
Yeti.
can look that up and see. Okay, yeah, like $140 on the more top on the X.
They have
between
a
100
pink
120. What is it?
They have a pink one. That one was not out before.
There you go.
Nice.
If you're looking to upgrade to a just for the color though, I don't know. I think I'd want to get like an X if I were going to upgrade for the I don't know.
Yeah, I like my white one.
Well, you have the pink headphones though too, right? Didn't you get the Apple? Did you get the Apple ones?
I still haven't decided on the color. I've been going back and forth.
Oh, okay. I remember that because that was one Richard commented on a while back. It's pretty funny. Let's see. So that's the mic. I'll pull up the camera so you can see for microphones, 100. For like any streaming quality microphone, you can expect around 100 to 300, somewhere in that range. And then my camera, I've tried like 5 different cameras too, and this is the one I like the best. Let's see. I think it's this one. I think it's the stream cam, this particular stream cam. So 139. That's the one I use. And are you using just a MacBook camera or are you using a different one?
Yeah, I'm just using the MacBook camera. I do have the MacBook Pro though. And I've noticed that between MacBook Pro and MacBook Air, there is a huge difference.
Oh, interesting. MacBook Pro versus MacBook Air. So the Pro has a much better camera?
Like infinitely better.
Okay. That's good to know. Actually. I never would have thought it'd be that big a difference, but
yeah, I didn't either, but it is like such a big difference.
Nice. Appreciate that, G Chambers. I did have a rap come out recently.
Really?
Video. Yeah, you haven't seen it? I'll send you. I'll put the link in the private chat too. But
okay,
it was fun. I did my first time. I've recorded some music before, but it was my first time doing it with a remote producer. So I wrote the lyrics. I got on a website, got a guy to make me a beat and do producing and mastering. He made the beat. We went back and forth. Oh, I don't like this, that. I've never did it remote. I've always been like, with a friend or in the studio somewhere.
Yeah.
And then went back and forth, finally settled on the beat. I took the beat. He sent me the beat. I recorded the vocals on my Mac. I sent the project to him, and then he he started doing all the producing and mastering and stuff like that. Went back and forth like 20 times. It was like probably a 2-month process. And yeah, it wasn't free, so more money I spend that I don't get back from anywhere. And then finally we're like, oh, this is great. Let's do it. We mastered it. And that was just the music. So then I got Proof of Beard to make a lyrical video, which came out really, really good. So that was a whole other thing, making a lyrical video, going back and forth, working with him on the artwork and stuff like that, which he pretty much had it all done. And it was just some minor corrections and feedback and like spelling and all that stuff. Make sure to put hex flag on the moon, like all that stuff. And then, yeah, that produced the lyrical video. So I'll drop it in the chat.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's called The Big Pumpamental. Since y'all brought it up. Yeah, since y'all brought it up, I don't want to right now. Every time I type in RHMax in Google, it corrects it to RHMax, the real estate thing. Every time. So funny.
That is funny.
I guess they are more popular, so I can't be too mad. A big pump. And in chat, by the way, put whatever questions you got for equipment and stuff, or what you're using. If you want to talk about what you're using, if we've ever used it before, all that engagement stuff, just do that. Okay. Just do that right now while I'm busy. So I'll drop it in private chat so you can see it later too. But yeah, if anyone hasn't seen it, there it is. I'm proud of it. I think it came out great. And we're going to talk about scheduling too. We're going to talk about scheduling because I think I have a very interesting take on that. And maybe Fashion Coder does too. But once we get through equipment, I'm not loaded. And if I were, all my money would be going towards streaming with it, as you've seen. Let's see where we at. So camera. So, okay. So I use the stream cam, use the MacBook Pro camera then?
Yep.
Okay. So make sure. And then what do I have? Let me go back to the notes and see on the Mac. Let's see, Mac lighting. Okay, the lighting too. It's another. So basically the three things: camera, mic, and lighting. Would you say those are like the fundamentals for getting a good streaming setup?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What kind of? I'll pull mine up real quick, but I'll also ask what you use for lighting, or if anything, maybe just have good natural light. If you don't have good natural light, then yeah, like I just use one of these super cheap, like $20, a ring light, and it can attach to your desk. It can attach to your microphone arm. You can just set it up in the corner. You just basically play with it, go back and forth, and see what lights up the best. Not a lighting expert at all. That would probably like grok at all this, but oh, why would you do that? But like beginning streamers, whatever, it works for me. So that's the one I use. But yeah, what kind of lighting do you use?
So I use one of the bigger ones. I honestly think the first one I ever bought was the one that's the best seller right there.
Okay.
I accidentally broke it though, and so I just bought a different one. Honestly, like very similar vibe. It's like this big, but I have it on a tripod, and so the tripod that I have is honestly the best thing I've probably ever purchased in my life, for many reasons. But it's only $11, and so I'll have you look up that one. It's the
Yes, please.
Okay, the letter U and then BEESIZE, so UB size.
Yeah,
And
UV size ring light, phone tripod.
Yeah, do that one.
Okay.
And then it's the 60-inch one.
52, 67, 60. This one.
Let's see. Yep, it's that one. So
nice. $10 too. There you go.
Yeah, honestly, like I use it for everything in my life, even outside of like streaming. So when I like go anywhere, I always bring it with me. I'll just show you it. It has my light on it, but it is the nicest thing I've ever gotten. Like it's so great. So highly recommend.
Nice. Yeah, these are some of the things, because especially when I was first trying to figure this stuff out, you just don't know. So I just went through and I just bought all the things that look cool, and then I would try them. If I didn't like them, I would return them, and then I would try the next one, and basically I went through 3 or 4 microphones, at least 3 like nice microphones, and 3, 4, 5 cameras, and I think this is my second lighting choice. I think I had a big, like a 5-foot tripod with a light built into it. I used that, but then it was just too bulky, and I really have a minimalist setup on my desk. I just want microphone arm. I can swing it in and out to get it out of my face when I'm not using it. I have the little ring light that's always there that I can turn on and off, and then I have the camera on top of the monitor. So it's as simple as possible.
Yep, exactly.
Very cool. Any other equipment that you use for streaming that people can buy?
How I record all my videos is through QuickTime Player, which is a built-in software on MacBook.
That's right.
And so that's what I use, just because you can screen record. So what I end up doing is I bring up a video of myself through QuickTime Player, and then I'm able to screen record the whole screen. So I can be on the screen while also like doing whatever I'm doing. So that's worked for me. I don't know anyone else who does it like that, but like it just is the easiest thing for me. And so that's what I do.
Okay, nice. So so when you do edit stuff, or do you just not edit at all? You don't use like Final Cut or the built-in stuff? I forget what the app is on Mac. You just don't edit the videos at all on the desktop?
So I do edit them, as in trimming them. If I start my camera, the sound doesn't pick up for like 10 seconds. So I always have like 10 to 20 seconds at the beginning. Also, sometimes I like freak myself out a little bit. I'm like, okay, wait, what am I talking about? So I'll like take a second while I'm on the camera. So I'll trim the ends of it, but a QuickTime Player just has a trim feature. So I wouldn't even count that as editing because it takes 30 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, and YouTube, they have edit, they have blur too. That's another thing to bring up. You don't even need anything on the desktop if you just want to upload the video, and you want to quickly trim something, or I had to blur something out the other day. Somebody was doing a demo sharing, and they accidentally brought up MetaMask and had their wallet address, and they didn't want to get dox their wallet address. So, oh, cool. And I'm sure YouTube has a feature to figure this out. I'm sure that happens all the time to streamers. I'm sure credit card numbers and all kinds of stuff come up. And yeah, I was just able to blur it, and they said it would be available in a few hours. I didn't have to replace the video. That was a huge thing. I didn't, lose all the likes and comments and stuff. So that was YouTube has these features built into it as well.
Exactly. And so like if I accidentally like show my wallet address, which honestly I feel like happens all the time, I'll go on YouTube. And I mean, I use a dummy wallet for all my stuff that I do, but like even that. And so when I go and upload it on YouTube, I always go and like blur it out or whatever it is. But it takes a while.
Power Director's also editing. That's probably it's funny enough, we both use Mac, it sounds like. But it sounds like Power Director, I imagine, is for Windows, because most people use Windows out there. I guess they like viruses, right? Security. Yeah. I have this whole spiel of like, you know what? It's the best way to not be targeted by 99% of malware. Don't use Windows, because that's what 99% of people use, and that's why they get targeted so much. So security tip today. Yeah, use Mac. It just, you're literally gonna, do you want to drive down the bad neighborhood or good neighborhood? Mac is a good neighborhood. There you go. Last thing up.
Oh my gosh, literally same.
So funny.
Literally same.
Yeah. Actually, I have the opposite problem because they have all the regulators. So I bought a couple of shower heads to replace some here, and they have the regulators that are low flow, and I can't get any flow out. So then, there's a YouTube video you can look at, how to take the regulator out, because the EPA did all this stuff to make all the manufacturers make the water pressure worse. So it depends on like how your water pressure is in your house and stuff, but apparently mine's not too strong. So if they have a low flow and it's not too strong, it's just like dripping out. It's just horrible.
That's awful.
Yeah, but you can remove it. If you remove it, it's like, it's normal again. So thank you, EPA.
So weird.
Yeah. So I think that's it for the equipment part. So now everyone knows what we use. MacBook Pro, that's another cost I would. So I totaled mine up $400 in total for the 3 pieces that I went through the pain to like figure out each one, which one works best. And then for the MacBook Pro, it was like between $1,000 and $2,000, depending on the specs, if it's new, used, all this stuff. So yeah, I mean, my setup is because I did buy a Mac to do streaming. I wanted a separate Mac just for streaming, just for editing and stuff like that. So that's maybe $2,500 just for the equipment but that's the thing I like about it. It's kind of it's a one-time cost. I mean, your computer is probably never going to go bad, not for a long time. Your camera's not going to go bad. Your lighting's not going to go bad. So once you put it in, it's not like you got to keep doing it all the time. You can get the ROI out of it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So that's one good part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think mine ends up being around the same amount too. I already had the MacBook Pro, but like looking at it like that, the specific MacBook I have is like around $2,200. Which I feel like is a lot for something that, you're investing.
Yeah, Macs are not cheap.
No, for like streaming and stuff. But then everything else has come to about $200-$300. And then I've been looking at those Apple or the AirPod Pro Maxes. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to match them with my slippers, to be honest, like my whole vibe. So I haven't decided on what slippers I'm getting. So then I can't determine what color of headphones, and so I will end up getting those, and those are like $600 in total, like after
they're
tax.
expensive. Yeah. I know someone got them. I was like, whoa, I'm okay with my AirPod. That's another thing. So, that's a good piece too. First I want to say that if you get that pink Blue Yeti, then you'll have the whole vertical integrated ecosystem like that.
And it would match the hot dog rainbow.
It would match the hot dog. We got to match the hot dog. That's clearly the most important thing. I want to say, so for sound, what do you use? Because I just use AirPods Pro. I love them. Bluetooth. I take them out of the thing. I charge them after every stream. I take them out, put them in. They connect. Everything is beautiful in the Mac ecosystem. But what do you use?
So I actually just use the MacBook speakers.
Oh my God. So embarrassing. Don't have any expensive toys to show for listening.
No, I should have gotten the AirPod
Yeah.
Maxes.
One day. We're going to do this again. We're going to do round 2 and you're going to have them on. It's just going to
I'll like
just
show
feel
my
great.
whole setup. I feel like I need the pink ones now though if I like end up getting the pink microphone.
I'm telling you, that would look, if you look at Cryptographics, he has the purple-ish, like the purple shade headphones with green, and then he has the hat which matches it, and it's just like, wow, your face looks awesome. Like you're surrounded by
It's coordinated,
nicely coordinated equipment. So he came on the Hedron auction stream, and I was like, whoa, man, you're like way overdressed to be on Team TJ Maxx right now. This is because we split people into Group A and Group B because we had too many people. And Group A was Team TJ Maxx, and Group B was Team Gucci. And I was like, man, you're way overdressed for TJ Maxx right now. Let's save that for the Gucci team. Okay. Forget the air. Man, I love them. A lot of people hate them. I love them though. I don't know, man. I don't know. I gotta disagree with you on that. I've never been so satisfied with a frictionless experience going into streaming as I have just popping these in and they just work. Only caveat, only thing I'll say is do not click that StreamYard link before you put them in. Because if you click it, at least for me, it doesn't like this. It just has this bug where it's like distorted and really terrible and you got to exit the studio and come back. So make sure, here's my process. I come into the room, I put on the green screen in the back. I take the microphone arm, swap it in front of me. I turn my light on. I put in the headphones, and then I click Enter Studio. If I do that every single time exactly the same way, it's muy bueno. Assuming the internet doesn't screw up, which it does sometimes, or the MacBook just has like some weird, I need to reboot every month or two because it'll just like have high resource consumption. And for whatever reason, I can't solve other than rebooting. Other than that, and the internet going bad, if I do that process every time, then streams, there's no technical difficulties in the stream.
That's good.
All right, Spins. Fortune running out of fast food. I have a McDonald's background that I used the other day, and that's what I think it's what his references. Yeah, like I can't. I'll be like, oh, I'm quitting today. Nope, it's a bear market. I can't quit. Gotta get back to it. Gotta keep that cash up. Gotta survive. Somebody said DaVinci Resolve. Okay, yeah, I haven't heard of that one. There you go. There's another tip.
Cool.
For that cost, the mic should be doing all the talking and streaming for you. It's not a cheap mic, but I've decided that you can't, or at least I can't be cheap with equipment because that equals more comments of people saying stuff about it and less quality. I mean, if I can spend $100 more for a mic that will make the sound 50% better, that's value for the people. So I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I can afford it, so I don't have a problem doing it.
Yeah. That's how it's been with my dad too. I've just bought him all of his gear. And so I just like have replicated exactly what I have. So then when he streams, he can use the same gear. So then hopefully we'll have a similar sound. But he doesn't use a MacBook. And so there's also that too that can be iffy, but it works.
Gotta get him in the Mac. I'm telling you, once you go Mac, you don't go back. I haven't used Windows for years. I used to use Windows all the time. And I use Linux, but MacBooks have taken over my place. iPads and MacBooks, and I don't use an iPhone. I'll say that I don't use an iPhone.
Really?
That's the only thing. Yeah, everyone else around me does, but I know they got 17 cameras. I know it's beautiful, but I'll say I don't use an iPhone for my personal phone. I have a lot of Mac equipment I use for testing and doing different stuff for work and otherwise, but I don't use it for a personal phone. I've only used it once. I used to use a Windows phone for a very short period of time. They get me thinking about all the phones I went through, but no, I'm on OPSEC. I'm on Team, not iPhone for now.
Okay.
Thanks, Vets. Appreciate it, man. We can disagree and still hang out. You got to come to the meetup, man. Come back to the meetup. Okay, so yeah, you added yourself the UV camera recording. Nice. Now the process. So what are some of the things that you've done? Maybe stuff you didn't do in the early days, but you just figured out, wow, this is such an easy win. Like if I do this particular thing, I'll get more. And not that your goal is subs and likes and comments, but like just easy wins that you don't have to sacrifice the integrity of your show. in order to get more engagement? Like what are some things you've came up to do in the last few months?
Ooh. Being consistent. That does not, being consistent can be hard sometimes, especially for where I'm at in my life right now. But being consistent really, like, it shows. Like, you see the subscribers come in, you see the likes and, all the views and all that. But I feel like there is the other side of things of maybe my content isn't as good if I am posting consistently. Whereas, like, if I, like, sometimes I'll just do like random ones here and there. And it's like, it's good content if it's like a code review or, something that I put effort into. But if I'm not in that consistent schedule, it won't get views. And so it's been interesting. I think consistency, at least for like the type of videos that I post, they do better if they're like chunked together. So if I'm like posting 5 times a week, but that's like a huge commitment, especially since I'm in school right now, to be able to do that. But that whenever I like start making like my plans of like getting back into a routine, I've actually been like planning out my month of December and what I'm going to do for that. The number one thing is the consistency for me.
Yeah. Consistency. It's that really plays well into how I do the streams too, because I'm clipping. So I'll go through my process, which relates into consistency. It's like it enables a consistency for me. So I'll do a stream. After the stream, and I've talked about this before, it takes me per stream. Again, everyone, appreciate all the streamers out there. I don't think I'm the only one that puts this time and effort into it. But for every stream, this stream included, depending on how long we go, maybe we go, an hour and a half, for example, hour and a half streaming. So I count that time. And for clipping, so I put it in Final Cut Pro. I clip out maybe during the stream, I'm taking notes every once in a while. Oh, that was really good. I really want to clip that. I'll have a notes to my side with Google Doc of like, blah, blah, blah at this mark, a title. So that can help me make things smoother too. But let's say an hour and a half, the average stream. For clipping itself, depending on how well I take notes, because otherwise I have to like watch a lot. And I have to like, another pro tip when you're going through editing is, if because I ask a lot of questions a lot of times during the streams. So I'll scroll through and I'll watch until my mouth starts moving. I'm like, oh, I'm asking something. I'm saying something. So this is probably a good place to stop. And just a little things that make it less frictionless and make things faster to try to pull out key moments and pull out things that people are interested in doing or listening to again. So all that takes I'd say about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how long the stream is, how many clips there are, how many questions, how many notes I didn't take beforehand to help speed that up. And then scheduling, tweeting stuff out, like all that's effort. Like I usually schedule 5 minutes beforehand. I didn't do it today. Like 15 minutes in, I was like, shit, I didn't say we're live yet. I said it, 2 hours ago, but I try to say it right beforehand to get all the people who didn't see the previous one. So that's all that, like miscellaneous stuff, scheduling. Sometimes there's a lot of back and forth. People schedule stuff like you're always easy. A lot of people are usually easy for scheduling stuff, but some people I'm like, oh my God, like how many times I'm gonna go back and forth before we just agree on a time? Like do you ever run into that too?
Yeah. I'm trying to schedule 2 streams next week, which is also hard with like Thanksgiving and stuff. And then also my sister's getting married on Saturday. So there's
that's right.
It's interesting, like all of the schedules and how it plays like a factor. And then people being in different time zones and not even like, in the United States, but like being across the world can be
every time. Every time I do something with somebody who's in the UK or Europe or somewhere or Australia, I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna have to do a really early one or a late one because otherwise their time is crazy. So you have to factor that in. But yeah, scheduling, clipping, the stream itself, and then thumbnails. I've been getting pretty fast at thumbnails. I've tried to because I'm like every time I'm making a thumbnail and if I get 5 minutes into it, I just start thinking, why am I spending more than 5? What am I doing right now? Stop spending 5 minutes on a thumbnail. Spend like 3 minutes if possible. I've just got it down to that like frictionless thing.
Yeah.
But my thumbnails are like space picture or crypto picture. I'll get on canva.com. I'm gonna put that in the link, by the way.
I love Canva.
Amazing. It really, Canva, I was telling somebody the other day, Canva enables streamers to like make frictionless content. It really does. You can make thumbnails for YouTube. You can make banners. You can make videos. A lot of people don't know. I made my intro video, my first intro video. I made it in Canva.
Yeah.
Like people underestimate Canva. It is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, even like the other side of that too, like my sister has ordered all of her like wedding stuff through Canva. Yeah. So like invitations and like signage and stuff. Canva's amazing.
It is amazing. So thumbnails, I try to do as fast thumbnails as possible. I try to get like every once in a while, especially if it's mentioning Richard, I'm like, all right, I got to throw a Richard picture in there. I got to put him on a unicorn, or I got to put him on a standing on top of the world or something like that. I got to like make those cool. But usually I spend a very minimal amount of time on thumbnails. But if I have 10 of them, because I'm cranking out 10 at a time, a lot of streams, I don't know how many clips I'll have from this stream, but normally I average 5 to 20 clips per stream. So that's a lot of thumbnails, right? So that's why I'm like, nope, I'm blazing through the thumbnails. I'm not spending any more than 5 minutes on each thumbnail. So factor that time in, around 3 to 4 hours. I would say more like 3.5 to 4 hours per stream. And I've been doing like 3 streams per week. So, so I want to tie this back into consistency. I'm not like, I don't want to put it out there like, oh, I'm working so hard. I want to tie this back into what you said about consistency, which is if you do streams and you clip them and you're trying to make consistent content, if you can schedule them ahead of time, if you have plenty of clips, if you like more content, the better. Like if you can't, it's better to deal with too much content than not have enough there's nothing out there. You can't schedule that stuff. Mm-hmm. So right now I'm scheduled out till I'm almost full I've been doing, there's like this whole rabbit hole going into like, how do I decide which ones on which days and all this stuff. I'll skip over that because it's just this whole like mental system I've come up with. But I think I'm scheduled out to like, I'm filling up January right now with clips.
No way. That's
filling
awesome.
Up January. Yeah. So, but you have to decide, like, I never want to post a clip that's too old. Like I never want to post content. If we talk about, when something that recent happened, I need to post that in the next week or two, or it's going to get stale. But if I say, why is Hex, the most, innovative product ever. And like, why do you think Hex is going to beat everything else? Okay. I can schedule that for a month from now or so, because that's not going to get stale. It's not going to get old. No one's going to, I have every once in a while, I'll come across something I'll just delete, or I just won't schedule because I had a video on Poly the other day. That's a great example. I had a 14-minute video of me, Blue Bum, and Gift talking about Poly's game theory. And I had it scheduled to post on the 15th. And I looked ahead and I was like, no, but everything has changed. It's now a trustless stick. Now I can't even post a video. So it always breaks my heart when I have to delete the video, because I had scheduled it too far ahead, because I didn't foresee, the bug happening and all the game theory changing. So anyway, a candid example of what can happen when you're scheduling, but totally worth it. Totally worth it when, I could go on vacation now for 2 months and I would still have clips coming out 1, 2, 3 per day, because I put in the time ahead of time. And now my future self is like, oh, you can relax. Not that I've taken advantage of that. Not that I've relaxed, because I don't seem to be. I still seem to be doing plenty of streams. But that's just one way to get ahead of yourself, where you can like frictionless, you can stream, you can clip. If you get the system down to be super easy and comfortable for you, and you can just dedicate an hour or 2 per day, or whenever you have stuff to work on outside of the actual streaming part, then you can make it pretty good. So somebody had a question on Hex I want to get to too, and man, we are killing it right now. Okay, yeah. We'll wrap up on this and just go over a couple Hex and PulseChain stuff, because I think we both got to go by 12:30. Good, glad you reminded me of that. The Hex essentials real quick. I was thinking setting a schedule system. That's an interesting idea, actually. I just don't know if people, because I guess the idea would be so you would know when other people are streaming. You wouldn't have to because if 2 people are streaming at one time, there is a natural cannibalization effect that happens, especially if you have a similar audience. Interesting. The thing is, you'd have to get people to use it, because if they don't use it, then you won't know about it. I wonder if you could pull data from, because a lot of people don't schedule them ahead of time. I schedule ahead of time so you could pull the data of the upcoming live streams and automatically make a calendar. Maybe that would be a first step, DHEX. And then you could ask people, hey, if you want to further crowdsource, if you want to add your own stuff, you can. It's just hard to get people to participate to make sure that stuff's accurate, especially when they don't schedule. A lot of people don't schedule them ahead of time. But good idea. I like the idea. And shout out to pulsetube.com. They are awesome.
They are awesome.
Great point on operating system. Yeah, Mac. I'm telling you, Max Rock. I will convert people to Mac. We're gonna do it. All right, we're gonna finish on the streaming stuff because I do want to get to Air Community. Any other things that I guess we go to that. Like any other last piece of advice for new streamers out there who are just looking for, just they either got their feet wet and they don't know if they want to do it anymore, or you mentioned consistency, but like what do you wish you knew when you first came in to streaming? Maybe that's a way to frame it.
I wish I would have known that it was going to be rocky and it was going to take a lot of time up front. It's a lot different now that I have been doing it for so long, just because I've found that rhythm, and each type of video that I do is very different. So if I do a code review, that takes me sometimes 4 hours because I look through all of the code before I do a video on it. So I can go in and explain it. But if I'm just doing a project overview, that might take me 30 minutes to an hour total. So it all depends on what it is. But not to be discouraged, just to keep going and be on Twitter as well. That's something that I realized I never post on Twitter. I am not super present on that, but if you want to gain a following on YouTube, it really does help to be a part of the community on Twitter. And something about the PulseChain community is they're so accepting and they're so welcoming. And so just getting yourself out there, people will recognize you and will take you under their wing. So I wish I would have known that it was going to be kind of bumpy, but at the same time, a lot of growth was going to happen too.
Yeah, it's I can't be thankful enough for Crypto Kindness. Wells had me on stream early too, which introduced me to some people. Super welcoming. Always appreciate that, Wells. T Rob, who used to run or still run, I think Hex Community Jobs may still be around. He did the first stream I was a guest on, I think. So cool. Really embarrassing interview. If anyone wants to look that up, that's I was in this hoodie and headphones, and I look totally different than I look now. But that was a funny one where I'm because I didn't know what to do. I'm on stream. I'm just kind of my first shot at what I want to look like on stream. I'll just put that out there, I guess. Corey. But yeah, I had a couple, and we could go another hour on this stuff because there's so many. I was thinking, just while we're talking, I was thinking about background. What do you do for green screen versus your regular background? How do you decide stuff like that? How do you decide what you wear, the color schemes with your background, whether it's green screen or otherwise? Your banner, your logo, do you pay for StreamYard or not? I say definitely yes, because you put your own logo up there. And every time I see someone who doesn't have it, they look like a new streamer, right? Because they're not paying for the logo. Not taking it away from anyone who doesn't want to pay for StreamYard. I'm just saying it looks more professional when you put your own logo up there. Uh-huh. I had a whole media package by Proof of Beard one, same guy who did the lyrical video. He did background, he did new logo, he did all this stuff. So hiring people, you got to decide whether you want to, how much money do you want to put into it? Do you want to monetize to help fund that or not? Say, I don't monetize, so everything comes out of pocket. Luckily, I'm not super poor. Otherwise, you have a much worse experience than you have now. But I'm able to get some of this stuff, quality content or quality media around it. Intro videos, outro videos. I did everything myself at first, and then I got him to redo everything. Do you want to have a social media manager? Like you talked about, you're not on Twitter very much. My thought so far is I want to manage my Twitter and YouTube, but I recently got TikTok and Instagram, and I've been trying out some social media people there who are making clips and doing stuff. So I'm kind of more hands off there because I just don't want to handle 4 platforms. But also, I don't want to lose that personal connection because on Twitter, I want you to know you're talking to me.
Yes.
if I message you or I tweet something, I did it. You know, YouTube, that's my current thing too, is like, I want all the content I put out, my hand touched it. Like I want to be accountable for it. I want you to know that this is something I did that I thought was important to share. But the rest of them, I'm like, I got to offload something. So it's, yeah. What do you think about the other socials on TikTok and all that?
Oh, so me and my sister, we have a TikTok together actually. And so I like link all my fashion coder stuff on that, but I've never like talked about like crypto on it. And so I actually don't use TikTok for that, for like crypto anything. But like me and my sister, we'll just do like funny TikToks together type of thing. And then I ended up just changing my personal account on Instagram to my fashion coder account, just because I wanted the people in my life to be able to see my like content and my posts and all of that. And, you know, that's why I started. And now where I'm at, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But, you know, it's always a learning experience.
Yeah, it is. It's and you know, you're not going to get everything right the first time. I think that's another. I'll just wrap up on the advice too. I really try to focus on value. You know, I have my own personal principles around monetization. You know, I don't do that. I just never want my stuff to be tainted by anything other than my own ideals and my own. You know, guests who come on my show, they can promote whatever they want. They're on my show, hospitality. You know, they can promote whatever they want. But for me, I never want to be paid by anyone. Like the words that come out of my mouth, I want to own them every time.
Yeah.
And it's not a black and white. I think it's on a spectrum. You know, you can do some paid stuff and not. Like I don't fault anyone for making money on YouTube at all. Nothing like that. I just for my personal brand, that's what I focus on is the value, and I worry less about the money. I want to make the money through investing in products like Hex and PulseChain and stuff like that. I want to make that money there. I don't want to sell anyone anything. But yeah, so I don't focus on the clicks, the likes, the subs, the follows. They're nice to have, and they are a tip of the hat for value. But I don't know. I would tell new streamers to focus on value, focus on creating value, and then you'll get the subs, you'll get the likes. Those things will come, but you don't want to go the other way around. You don't want to I never want to do clickbait. Every time I do a title, I think about it like, I don't want anyone to watch a video and end up at the end and be like, whoa, that was clickbait, or whoa, that was totally not what I expected. I always want them to be satisfied with like clicking on my content. So yeah, Apple products are bulletproof.
Something like that too is, you know, I'm sure this has happened to you, but like companies will reach out to you to sponsor you, and like companies that we all know, and it is deciding whether or not you want to do that. And that's been something that's been huge for me too, because it's like, I do like these specific coins that are coming out or whatever it is, but it's like, I want to be able to say whatever I want to say. And I don't want anyone dictating that. And so I absolutely agree with you. I think you and I both kind of are going at this in the same route of like, we're here to bring value. Like we're not really here to make money. Whereas like some people are, and that's totally okay. But it isn't, you have to decide which one you want to be, because I feel like there's kind of a hard in between where it doesn't really exist.
That's where the principles come in. Like if you come up with something and you say, this is what I believe, like this is a core value of mine, and I want to put that in place, and you stick with it. You don't cheat. You don't go back and forth. You stick with it. To me, that's the most rewarding thing. That way, at the end of the day, I can always say my content is like clean. I'm not promoting like nothing. Like I said, like every word coming out of my mouth is my own, and that's owning your own words. I think is a rare, valuable thing in today's streaming world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, nothing against anyone out there who is paid to talk about things or show things or sponsorships or play ads. Nothing against you, but yeah I think Fashion Coder and I think the principles are an important thing that we hold dear.
Yeah, it's just choosing what's important to you, and that's okay.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, the monetization doesn't have to be important to you. That's totally cool. Appreciate it, Hexacat. All right, quickly wrap up on PulseChain. Well, somebody had a Hex question we'll get to, and then PulseChain, and we'll get you out of here because like lunch is on the table for me as well. Let's see. Scrolling up. While I'm scrolling up, we'll get to PulseChain.
Okay.
Is getting in PulseChain early like Ethereum on day one?
So, my thoughts, my opinion. So, I don't have any Pulse. I did not sacrifice for PulseChain. I sacrificed for PulseX. And so, what I'm doing and what I think, I will absolutely be buying something on day one for the fact of being like, oh, I bought in on day one. Am I going to put all my money in on day one? No, I am not going to be doing that. I'm going to be DCAing in and also just like watching the trends of what's going on. Because typically what we see is when a coin will come out, it will spike super quick and then go down. There will be like a belly that you see, and then it will go back up. And so I'm going to wait until that to get in fully. I made a goal for myself. I know how many Pulse tokens I want. And so I'm going to, keep buying until I have that amount. But I think it's interesting to compare it to Ethereum just because we're in a different space than when Ethereum came out. I think Pulse is going to do absolutely amazing, and I'm so excited to see it come out. But I just feel like it's not really even something that can be compared in a way. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I like the way you framed it too. It could be apples and oranges. A lot of people say that the 10,000x won't come for PulseChain because Hex launched, it did it in a completely different atmosphere. So it's hard to put that tag. It's hard to put that. We don't have expectations. It's hard to put that that tag on it too because it's a completely different environment. Although Hex did launch in a bear market, and if PulseChain launches a bear market, those two are comparable. But just the products themselves are so different. And crypto 3 years ago is way different than crypto now. And crypto 3 years before that was way different when Ethereum launched and stuff like that.
Yes, exactly.
So launching an L1 in 2023, let's say, no, don't put it in the comments. Don't put it in the comments. It could be January, okay? December, January, whatever. Like it could still be early 2023. The launching in a product in 2023 versus launching an ICO in 2015, I think it's when Ethereum came out, somewhere through there. That's 8 years, 6, 7, 8 years difference. So I don't know. I guess that would be the case against it having that kind of day one potential. And we don't need to get technical. Day one, it is implying getting in early when the price was super low and it did all the exits and stuff like that. It doesn't actually mean it doesn't have to mean the first day of launch. It could mean the all-time low. It could be the first day, the first year. It just means when the market isn't saturated with people who are already in, meaning the exits have already gone away. So, but I do. That is a good. It is a good way to look at it too. A lot of people who missed out on PulseChain sacrifice will want to get in day one, and will the best price be on day one? Not financial. Yeah. The answer to that is we're going to find out.
Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah. Last question here. This from basically, I think it's the only Hex PulseChain question I've got this interview, so I wanted to make sure I post it. What do you guys think the worst case scenario for the Hex price? A lot of OG stakes ending the next few weeks. What do you think, Fashion Coder?
I don't know. I'm not good with stuff like this, to be honest. What do you think?
I almost want to say, because before FTX and all this stuff, everyone was saying, okay, one more leg down.
Yeah.
Then we'll be done. Was this the leg down, or are we in the middle of the leg going down? That's the big question. So if we're in the middle of the leg going down and we haven't bottomed yet, which if you believe in the 11K and pray, last time I checked, Bitcoin wasn't 11K yet. You could imagine that could affect the Hex price. So use your imagination on that. But I don't know. I want to get to a day where we're actually decorrelated. I think for the PulseChain run up that we had when we had when we shouldn't have had the expectations for mid-May, all that stuff happened, and then everyone was buying up Hex. You could say that was a decorrelation. So I think Hex has decorrelation from time to time when events happen. And does that happen again when PulseChain launches? Does it, as soon as Richard gives the word, does Hex just go flying off the handle? I don't know. We thought Hedron was go flying off the handle with the auctions, but that didn't happen, and that was a pretty much a no-brainer. But I don't know. I will say that I think we will have a mini bull run when PulseChain starts in the ecosystem, like in our particular ecosystem. I cannot not see us having a mini bull run regardless of macro. Too much money coming out, billions of dollars coming out of unlocked capital. Where's it all going to go? A lot of it's people are going to want to, improve their bags in one way or another. A lot of people are going to be selling. A lot of people, they need money right now because economic conditions are not the best, but a lot of people ain't going to be selling for a long time. So that tends to make price go up.
Yep, absolutely. I think the only thing that I can even say with that is I have limit orders, and that's where I'm at with things, just because
Here you go.
This might be bad to say, but I hope it goes down more.
Well, I think, yeah, when we had that wick down the other day at 1.9, I mean, a lot of people were super happy it got filled. So I think that, nothing wrong with having it's like catching a falling knife, but you're like catching a gift from a gift from Amazon Prime. It's like I just have that like wrapper and just it's just falling from the sky. Here's this wick that somebody just market dumped. I think those things, maybe I wouldn't be happy with a steady price down and stay there, but I'll be happy. I think you can make a case you'd be very happy with the wicks down to get your limit orders filled. So I'm totally okay with that one.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh, I wish we had more time. This is so fun. Great interview. Thank you for coming. I think we really put out some good information. Chat was rolling. I had like 30, 40 people in here, but chat made it rolling today. So they like what they saw. I think you're a big part of that.
Oh, well, thanks so much for having me. So good to see you as always.
Of course. Yeah. Like I said, we need to do some more coding streams. There's a lot of people getting into coding and dev and crypto, and you did a lot of code reviews, and I've wrote some tutorials and blog posts on how to do tokens and just like different blockchain stuff. We need to put the brains together again. Let's see where we at. This way.
Yes.
Put the brains together. Yes, I'm trying to like poke you over there. Yes. Put them together, and maybe if I just push hard enough, will I go through the internet? Yeah. I'm glad that didn't happen for all the trolls and stuff out there. I'm glad you can't get viruses and stuff over the internet. So good. I mean, not those kind of viruses. You can get other types of ones. But yes, we need to get together and do another stream sometime.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks so much for having me, and thanks to the chat for everyone who is present and chatting.
They were present chatting, and they brought their A game today. So thanks everyone. I will. I don't think I'm streaming this weekend. I think I'm tired. I got I'm 2 videos behind now, and I never make myself get behind. And I was like trying to crank it out this morning to catch up, but I had to take some time off, so I'm a little bit behind. So, but nothing this weekend, but there will be more clips coming out, of course. And next week, I don't know who we got on the show. We got somebody good on the show, probably, hopefully. Thanks everyone. And without further ado, show your stuff, Fashion Coder. Where can people find you? Where can they do all that stuff?
Yeah, so I'm Fashion Coder on YouTube, Fashion Coder 6 on Twitter and on Instagram. And then I have a link tree that's linked basically everywhere. So if you want to find me everywhere else, just find the link tree.
Boom. Link tree. And I am at RHMax on Twitter, on TikTok, and on Instagram. And RHMax on YouTube, the channel you're watching. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Hit the replay if you just joined. This was a fun episode, and I hope we really put some value out there for people. We are out.